coverage you can count on. You're watching WTBM News Leader 9 Morning, sponsored by Montlick Injury Attorneys.
Thanks for starting the new week off with us this morning.
Yeah, who knows what the week will bring us this time around, but let's check on the weather to see how that's going this morning. Tyler, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Hopefully it's a little less eventful than last week. Temperatures in the 70s, but we are going to have some rain around the area again at times for the week ahead, so that isn't changing very much. We look at some of the stickiness that we have in place, and we felt it all weekend long. However, it wasn't as hot because of the clouds and the rain that we got off and on at times. This front responsible for all that moisture still very much in control. It's starting to move a little farther north, so rain coverage might not be quite as high today or tomorrow, but we still expect plenty of sporadic pop-up showers and storms later today. A look at the futurecast, maybe a few light showers around in spots this morning, but the best chance of rain today looks to be this afternoon after about 2 or 3 o'clock into the evening hours. Not everybody sees the rain, but there will be several rumbles around and several pockets of downpours. And guess what? Tomorrow, another chance of rain returns. But when does the pattern show signs of breaking? We'll let you know coming up in just a bit.
Tyler, thank you very much. For many voters, this moment in history may feel like a crisis, but America is hardly walking over new ground with a sitting president dropping out of the presidential race.
Not only has it happened before, it's actually happened several times in the not so distant past. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the details.
With his announcement, Joe Biden joins a rare group of sitting presidents who chose not to seek re-election.
I shall not seek, and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president.
56 years ago, President Lyndon Johnson announced he would not run for a second term amid the increasingly unpopular war in Vietnam and growing national unrest.
Political violence. That year we saw the assassinations of Martin Luther King and Bobby Kennedy. We've seen, of course, this year the assassination attempt on President Trump's life. We saw divisions and discord and volatility in 1968. We're seeing that again this year.
In 1952, despite leading the country through the end of World War II, Harry Truman also opted not to seek re-election. Entering the Korean War, among other unpopular decisions, left Truman facing the lowest job approval rating on record, just 22%.
I have served my country long and I think efficiently and honestly. I shall not accept a renomination. I do not feel that it is my duty to spend another 4 years in the White House.
Presidents Teddy Roosevelt and Calvin Coolidge also decided not to run for another term, but Biden's decision stands apart from those of his predecessors, all of whom served more than 4 years in office.
All of those presidents, Theodore Roosevelt, Calvin Coolidge, Harry Truman, Lyndon Johnson, all took the presidency upon the death of an incumbent, became president in their own right by getting elected to the office, and then declined another term in office. So this is a little different insofar as Joe Biden was the candidate in 2020, became president, and has opted after one term not to go forward.
But now Democrats are hoping to avoid history repeating, because in the most recent 2 examples, when Johnson and Truman, both Democrats, stepped aside, a Republican won the next election, Eisenhower following Truman and Nixon following Johnson. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
This will be the first election since 1976 that will not include a Bush, Clinton, or Biden on the ticket as well.
We move to local news this morning. Columbus police are investigating a shooting that left one person injured. Authorities say it happened around 4:15 a.m. Sunday on Dawson Street. That's where officers found a 41-year-old man suffering from a gunshot wound. Police say he's expected to survive, and as of now, there have been no reported arrests in connection with this case.
Let's go to Lee County. 17 people charged in a child prostitution sting operation. Undercover operation in Lee County results in the arrest of 17 men who allegedly attempted to arrange sexual encounters with a child. According to the sheriff, Jay Jones, investigators engaged in online chats with 249 individuals. 17 of them traveled to meet what they expected to be a 15-year-old at a Lee County motel. This joint effort involved the Lee County Sheriff's Office, Opelika Police, Lee County District Attorney's Office, and Covenant Rescue Group. The following individuals on your screen were taken into custody between Thursday and Saturday on charges related to prostitution with a minor.
Also in Lee County, an investigation is underway after an inmate was found dead in his cell at the Lee County Detention Facility. According to Sheriff Jay Jones, jail deputies found a 39-year-old man unresponsive during routine cell checks around 4:45 a.m. Saturday. First responders attempted life-saving measures, but the inmate was pronounced dead at 5:10 a.m., Jones said. His identity is being withheld pending notification of next of kin. The inmate was booked into the jail Wednesday on multiple failure to appear warrants, which included charges related to domestic violence, misdemeanor drug possession, and traffic violations. The body will be transported to the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences for an autopsy. 24 before the hour, a tragedy in Alabama after a man allegedly took the lives of his wife and 4 young children inside their home. The shooting incident happened in Bibb County, and the community is heartbroken. Kira Purvis has the latest following his arrest.
I just think this is awful, especially when you live in this area and knowing that this could happen.
Gwen Files, a resident of West Blockton, heard about the tragedy early this morning.
At first, not knowing what was going on was scary. We were all like checking on people, calling, making sure that everybody was okay.
After learning of the 5 lives lost, Files says her heart goes out to the victims.
And the children, the poor babies, it's just really tragic.
Brandon Allen Kendrick Jr. is the man accused of shooting his wife and the 4 children, 2 of which were his own. Bibb County Sheriff Jody Wade says the call came in from a relative in the home just after 8 p.m. Thursday night.
Responding officers got there and then they found where several people had been shot.
Kendrick was located on the property. Sheriff Wade says he did not struggle during the arrest. Now they are only asking the community for prayers.
Mainly prayers for the family and for the officers and emergency personnel that had to respond.
Kendrick was charged with 5 counts of capital murder. He's currently being held in jail without bond.
A police officer in Alabama recovering after someone shot him as he was leaving for work Sunday. This happened in St. Clair County. It's near Birmingham. Investigators say a Homewood police officer was getting in his patrol car. Someone fired shots into his vehicle. The injured officer called for help. Police eventually located a suspect in a neighborhood that led to a standoff lasting for several hours. Police say the shooter died and they suspect that he killed himself.
It is 22 before the hour on this Monday morning.
Yeah, let's send it over to Tyler and check on that weather. Tyler, I got to cut the backyard. I got the front yard done. When's a good time to get this knocked down?
Probably earlier in the day, the better, but you're going to be here, so that doesn't really work out. No getting out of that today. Take a look at our temperatures in the 70s. We have the clouds around and the chance of showers and storms returning again this afternoon and this evening. Going to be kind of hard to predict exactly who sees the rain over the next couple of days, but I think overall a lot of us are still going to at least hear the thunder and see some lightning. We're going to see plenty of downpours around too. Let's switch gears and show you the tropics. We're not expecting any tropical development for the next week. That's some good news. However, there is some moisture across South Florida, a little tropical wave there. Also some moisture in the southern Gulf too. While we don't expect that to develop per se, it's just a sign of all the moisture that we have in place there. On the other hand, we still have dry air that's sweeping across the Atlantic Ocean from the Saharan Desert, and that is the dust that we talk about this time of the year, limiting that tropical development. But pretty soon, probably next week or the week after, we'll start to see some tropical development, and that concentration of dust will begin to decrease. So your 9-day forecast is coming up in just a moment.
Thank you much, Tyler. More to come on News Leader 9 Morning. They may be tiny, but they have big goals. Coming up, where the West Georgia Jets are taking flight.
Now from your Storm Team 9 Alert Center, WTBM meteorologist Tyler Allender.
As we look at the weather pattern for the upcoming week, still going to keep that rain chance around, so don't go putting away the umbrella too quickly yet. However, it does look like as we go toward the end of the week and the weekend, the pattern begins to change. Less frequent showers and thunderstorms, but we're going to have that moisture level in place for most of the week. So look at our temperatures hovering in the upper 80s to lower 90s. On days when you don't get the rain, it's going to be hotter. On days where you do get the rain, it's going to be just a little bit cooler, but still equally as humid, where you can see the rain coverage may be highest Wednesday and Thursday. It does start to drop heading into the weekend and probably even more early next week. We have 70s across the southern quarter of the country, so that warm, moist air continues to come up from the Gulf of Mexico, the Atlantic as well. It's pushing the storms from yesterday to our north and east, and we're in a little bit of a lull right now, but we expect another round of storms to pop up. And as we add everything up again between now and the end of the work week, another at least 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. So most of us had at least that much over the past 4 or 5 days, and we're still expecting more. Take a look at the futurecast for the rest of the day today. We see a few showers through about noon or 2 o'clock, and then after that is when we expect the heaviest rain of the day to start percolating, and we'll see those storms kind of especially from mid-afternoon to early evening before fading away. And then maybe during the overnight, couple isolated showers certainly possible into Tuesday morning and tomorrow. There go the storms again. Areas of locally heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds and frequent lightning. Remember, lightning, thunder really is your cue to get inside to warn you of lightning nearby. Wednesday, the storms pop up again, maybe a little bit higher in coverage as we have some moisture coming up from the south and the east. But you look at the muggy meter and we stay sticky all week long. This stickiness is not going anywhere. Remember, it's July and we're going to be seeing that humid feel definitely staying in place. However, we should expect fewer in the way of showers and storms by the weekend and early next week. There's the 9-day forecast, upper 80s, low 90s across the board. Pretty seasonable heat, but low temperatures will also be in the low to mid 70s. We're going to see no major change to the temperatures or the pattern for the next 4 or 5 days, Ben.
All right, Mr. Allender, thank you very much. Nick Saban's legacy will now forever live at the University of Alabama. On Friday, the Board of Trustees approved naming the field at Bryant-Denny Stadium after the now retired coach. The stadium itself will still be known as Bryant-Denny Stadium. The university released this video. It shows what the new name will look like for fans coming to home games this fall. You can see it reads Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Saban leaves, of course, with a ton of records. He won 6 national championships in 17 seasons at Alabama and could have easily won more if just the bounce of the ball a couple of times. 72-year-old retired from the Tide earlier this year. He called this a very humbling and special honor.
I don't think there could be anything that honors the hard work and the example that we tried to set for our community, our university, and our program and all the players in it, as to what you all have decided to do here today. And Terry and I certainly have the utmost gratitude for this great legacy.
A ceremony to dedicate Saban Field is scheduled for September 7th in conjunction with the South Florida game.
Another big win on Sunday for golfer and Alabama native Nick Dunlap. The 20-year-old won the weekend's Barracuda Championship on the PGA Tour. He's now the first player to win on the tour as an amateur and a pro in the same season. Dunlap played for the University of Alabama until earlier this year.
He'll get to keep the money from that tournament, and there'll be a lot of it. Well, as the Paris Olympics are set to begin at the end of the month, a local youth track team is focusing on preparing their athletes to one day reach that same stage.
News Leader 9 sports contributor Mackenzie Collins has a story out of the Fountain City.
On your marks, get set, go. The West Georgia Jets are just as fast as their name implies. But if you don't believe me, well, medals don't lie.
We're headed to Junior Olympics. The sky is the limit. The main principle of the West Georgia Jets is, teaching them life skills through the sport of track and field.
Head coach Marcus McGinty has been with the Jets for 13 seasons. Starting the team with just his own kids, it's now grown to over 40 participants.
Throughout the years, I've seen an interest in track and field grow in the Tri-City area. We've seen our athletes break records. We've seen kids win national championships, earn All-American honors.
Speaking of All-Americans, 8-year-old Mason Dozier, 11-year-old Adriana Alexander, and 18-year-old Ayana Jordan all qualified for the upcoming Junior Olympics in Greensboro, North Carolina. Now for Jordan, she's headed down a different lane. The Spencer High grad will continue her academic and athletic career at Clayton State University on a track scholarship. But you'll never guess her strategy that helped her get to this point.
I think like animals. Like I gotta soar like a bird, hop like a bunny. So for long jump, I'm being like a bull. If you ever seen like a bull run, how they like drag their feet like before they run, I do that.
Dozier and Alexander will be competing at the Junior Olympics. Nicknamed Racin' Mason, Dozier is coming off a triple crown at the AAU Nationals, taking first place in the 100-meter, 200-meter, and 400-meter.
And the fastest on the track.
Can't argue that. This is only his second year running track, and he already has 30 gold medals and 5 MVPs. He said he's not nervous for his first Junior Olympics because
I can beat anyone if I put my mind to it.
7-time All-American Adriana Alexander is making her second appearance in the competitions. She's been running since she was 6 years old, watching stars like Tamari Davis and Sha'Carri Richardson. And now, she joins one of them in the history books.
And I actually broke Tamari Davis's record, like when I went to AAU Nationals. The day before, I was looking at the records and I was like, I want to beat that record.
The sky is truly the limit for these Jets.
Most of the U.S. Olympians were former AAU or USATF athletes.
Because they're supported by a coach who pushes them to be
good, but I could do better.
All to help them put their best foot forward. For WTVM Sports Leader 9, I'm Mackenzie Collins.
Out the door this morning feels tropical, and we'll see those tropical showers and storms returning pretty much each day through the work week. Doesn't mean necessarily you're going to get rain every single day, but you're at least going to see the threatening sky most days. Plenty of moisture around means probably 2 or 3 more days at least of rain for your neighborhood through Friday, and maybe still a few storms over the weekend, but it does start to dry out, I think.
All right, thank you much, Tyler. A Manhattan judge set a tentative trial date for Harvey Weinstein to be retried on sex crime charges this fall. The judge says they will aim to start jury selection on November 12th. Weinstein was convicted in 2020 of first-degree criminal sexual act and third-degree rape and sentenced to 23 years in prison. But the New York Court of Appeals overturned the conviction. The movie mogul has remained in prison because he was also sentenced to 16 years in Los Angeles on charges of rape and sexual assault.
The Sundance Film Festival's decided on a list of finalist cities to host the 2027 event. They are Atlanta, Cincinnati, Boulder, Louisville, and Santa Fe made the short list. That's in addition to the current host city of Park City, Utah, which teams up with Salt Lake City. The Sundance Institute is considering several factors, including infrastructure, event capabilities of each city, as well as culture and diversity. The famed film festival will remain in Park City and Salt Lake City in 25 and 26. Selection committee members are planning trips to each of the finalist cities in the coming weeks. Be cool to have that in Atlanta.
I was just going to say, you know, we're rooting for Atlanta.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Sorry about that.
Didn't quite make it.
I did manage to try to hit that mic button before I...
But I will say you're not going to have the snow in Atlanta like you saw in that video.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Most likely. You're not
What time of the year does that take place?
I need to look that up because I don't know.
Yeah.
Never heard of the Sundance.
Because a lot of those other ones do have snow,
Yeah,
except for
true.
Santa Fe.
All right, I got to sneeze again. We're going to take a break.
Time to go.